Jonathan Lee Riches, a.k.a. JLR, Justice for Summer Wells. This is bad, people. This is very, very bad. Sheriff Ronnie Lawson and the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office needs to bring Jodiesue in right now and interrogate her. She needs to be brought in to authorities right now to be questioned. The TBI, they all need to question Jodiesue. This is getting crazy, people, and I want to touch base on this. So please just listen, right? Jodiesue just opened up a whole can of worms by her statements that she just made. You guys heard it. If anyone that didn't hear her statements, just Google around or go on YouTube. You can clearly hear what she said. She claims that Andy Bernard, her ex, gave Don Wells drugs days before Summer Wells went missing to sedate Summer. That is serious allegations, people, for someone to say. This is a shame on Jodiesue Brown all across the board here. Shame on Jodiesue Brown. And I say this for numerous reasons. One, shame on Jodiesue Brown for coming out now and finally saying this. Now, over a year later, holding that information in. Shame on you, Jodiesue Brown. But also shame on you if you're lying. If you're lying, because to me, you're a known liar. To me, Jodiesue is a known liar. And I'm saying this as if I'm talking to Jodiesue, but I'm talking to everybody in general. Jodiesue, shame on you. Shame on you. You're coming out now because, what, Andy Bernard, your ex, goes on a YouTube channel and you want to counter that or one up or scorn? Are you scorn? And you just want to throw Andy Bernard's name around like that? Whether it's true or not, shame on you for bringing this out now. You could have brought this out from day one. From day one. You could have brought this out from day one. Jodiesue Brown claims she has receipts. She claims she has the proof that Andy Bernard gave Don Wells drugs to sedate Summer. She has the proof. TBI, Hawkins County Sheriff's authorities, they need to question her. She got the proof. She needs to give it up. She claims, oh, well, Hawkins County Sheriffs probably know. Well, what about if they don't? What about if they don't? You know, and I was a defender of Jodiesue Brown, not because I like her or I defend her as far as feeling that she was innocent, right? I feel that she just chose to interject herself and concoct a story months later that she heard animalistic screams at the home and a truck door slam and a car go up the driveway and she was tending flowers. I thought all of that was absolutely bogus. And Sheriff Ronnie Lawson even came out and said it's not related to Summer at all, you know. And I defended Jodiesue because I felt that she is not involved. But now that she opened her mouth, I'm not going to defend Jodiesue Brown, and I would be surprised if Jodiesue Brown at this point has any defenders. She needs to log off YouTube completely, literally, because if she knew this all along, that Andy gave drugs to Don to sedate Summer, then she's enabling, aiding and abetting this entire situation on what happened to Summer. She needs to be brought in for questioning ASAP. Now, I sent a message to Ronnie Lawson about this. I sent Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, lots of inquiries. And I just sent him another one. Check this out. After the bombshell allegations that Jodiesue claims her ex, Andy Bernard, gave drugs to Don Wells days before Summer Wells was reported missing to sedate Summer, I sent Sheriff Ronnie Lawson an email titled, Jodiesue Brown. Hello, Sheriff Lawson. Will you be giving any press conferences to address the new information centered around the Summer Wells case regarding Don and Candace Wells' neighbor Jodiesue Brown claiming her ex Andy Bernard gave drugs to Don Wells to sedate Summer days before she was reported missing? Have you spoken to Jodiesue about these allegations? She claims she has receipts. Has people been contacting your office about this matter since Jodiesue made these claims about your ex? So this was an email I sent to Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson. So the sheriff's office, they know. They now know. So will they do their due diligence and bring Jodiesue in for questioning? Because Jodiesue is claiming this out of her mouth on YouTube. And she could be lying. But even if she's lying about that, shame on her. Shame on her for just throwing Andy's name out in the mud on a wild accusation, whether it's true or not. You understand? Shame on Jodiesue all across the board. But she needs to be brought in, because will she say the same thing to TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff behind closed doors? What she's telling everyone on YouTube. See, telling people on YouTube accusations and claims is not a crime. But if she went inside the sheriff's office and was interrogated, if she lied about what she's claiming, that Andy gave drugs to Don to sedate Summer, then she could be in big trouble for lying to authorities. Or will she not say what she said on YouTube to authorities when she's under the interrogations? You know, a lot of unanswered questions. It's sad. It's sad. Jodiesue should just log off YouTube, because she did this to herself. She did this to herself. You know, you can't have any more empathy for Jodiesue Brown at this point, because she's doomed either way. She's doomed either way. Her reputation now is tarnished because she's coming out now saying all these things. I think she's lying, personally. But I think as an investigator, they have to at least do their due diligence and look into what she's claiming. Because it's been 1 year, people. 1 year, and Summer Wells has not been found. And Hawkins County sheriffs, along with the TBI and investigators, gave a press conference at the 1 year anniversary and said, we don't know anything. They don't know anything, unless they're lying and they're just trying to keep some information under wraps. Now, if it's true that Andy Bernard gave drugs to Don to sedate Summer, or whatever Don does with the drugs, then Andy Bernard needs to come in. And he needs to be questioned, if he's been questioned at all. So Jodiesue just opened up a whole... lots of more people that are going to probably have to come in and get questioned over this bombshell allegations. Now, to be objective, I think some of it does make sense. We've seen pictures of Summer before she was reported missing, and she always in these pictures looked like she was either passed out or slouched over compared to the boys. Like they went to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area, and all the pictures you see of Summer, she's kind of slouched over. She looks like she could possibly be drugged up. There is truth to that. And I spoke to Dudley Ajon. Remember Dudley Ajon, the former co-worker of Don Wells, who was fired the day before Summer Wells was reported missing. And he said, right before Summer Wells was reported missing, that a day prior, or was it 2 days, 2 or 1 day prior, that Don was sitting on the toilet at his job site, so distraught. Dudley thought something happened to Summer a day or two before she was reported missing. So it's interesting. Jodiesue says Andy gave Don drugs to sedate Summer. We've seen pictures of Summer, you know, looking like she's passed out, milk jugs, for instance. But then we see pictures of Summer at the swimming hole swimming. So I don't know if that's like in and out consciousness or keep sedating. Did they do something with this information that's Jodiesue is claiming? did, you know, they do something with Summer because they didn't want no evidence being shown that Summer was sedated or they did something to Summer. You know, Summer was about to go to school. She would require a physical going to the school, nurses looking at her, DCF looking into conduct between, you know, Don and Candace and the boys. And Summer, was Summer going to be examined by them? Possibly, and they knew, so they did something with Summer. Remember, too, we spoke to Allie and Sherry, former friends of Don and Candace Wells, and they said also that Don gave Summer and the boys alcohol and possibly drugs. So, to be objective, it does make sense. So, point is, Jodiesue needs to be brought in for questioning. She needs to be spoken to thoroughly. I'm sure. And then also, hear this. Check this out. And another thing I want to touch on. You know, TBI gave at the 1-year anniversary a press conference saying there's a lot of misinformation that they've been receiving, you know, that's been thwarting this case because of just the rumors and gossip. Jodiesue just opened up a can of worms on that, because I'm sure at this point now, just like I was sending a message to Ronnie Lawson Inquiry, I'm sure Hawkins County sheriffs are probably getting their phones lit up today because of what Jodiesue said, what she's claiming from people saying, hey, look into Jodiesue, look into Annie Bernard, the Bernards. He gave drugs this summer. He had something to do with it. You need to question Annie, you know, and probably flooding them. So that, you know, drains more of their time, their resources looking into this matter. But I do think it needs to be looked at. Since it came out of Jodiesue's mouth and she's claimed she has the proof, then authorities need to see this proof that Jodiesue claims she has. So I'm going to touch on, I'll keep following this case. No stone left unturned. Go back and review some of my videos. You know, put in the YouTube search Jonathan Riches, Jodiesue, or Jonathan Riches, Dudley A. John, you know, from the work sites. You know, I have a lot of videos out. I'm going to kind of splice them and put them together and kind of look into this matter a little bit more. But Jodiesue, shame on you. Either or. Shame on you. You're not a hero here. And I think you're personally lying, but now the authorities have to do their due diligence. Sorry. Everyone be safe. Justice for Summer Wells. God bless.